Hi everybody, it's Terry Schultz and I'm Legally Crafty, an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator coming to you from Aledo, Texas. Happy New Year! It's New Year's Day 2021. It's been a while since I've made a video, but I am working on being more consistent. So I'm trying to make plans for what I'm going to do. So I've got some of the next few weeks planned out and I'm going to try to work ahead. You know what it means when it's January. It's Sale-A-Bration time and our new MIDI catalog. These start on Tuesday, January 5th, and I'm so excited. There's some awesome things in here. I can't show you the insides just yet, but we're going to work with some of the things that are in these catalogs today. So let's get started. I was working on some swaps for a demonstrator meeting I've got coming up. So I thought I'd just show you what I made for my swaps. And we are going to be using this really cute stamp set, Circle Celebration, with all these fun circles. We're using this one, this one, this one, and this one. So we're using a lot of these circles today. And then you might notice there's no sentiment in this stamp set. So we're going to be using this Approaching Perfection, which has a lot of birthday sentiments. And this is a Sale-A-Bration set. So you can get this set for free by buying $50 worth of product, which is really awesome. The other thing we're using that is in the Sale-A-Bration catalog is this Oh So Ombre Designer Series paper. And you can see little bits and pieces of it in here, but it's got 4 colors. Granny Apple Green, Blackberry Bliss, Bermuda Bay, and Rococo Rose is the other one, and it is ombre paper. So it's got some with circles, and then there are others that are just straight, no patterns on them, just plain. But those are the 4 colors that they come in. So we're going to use some of this DSP today. I'm going to get this close. So this is a pack of 6x6 DSP that you can also get free with a purchase of $50 from either the annual catalog or the mini catalog. It doesn't matter. Just spend $50 and you can pick this free. So the Circle Celebration set coordinates with these layering circles dies that are in the annual catalog, so you can get these. We use just the smallest one because it also coordinates with these 2 punches, the 1.5-inch punch and the 2-inch punch. So I'm going to use those today as well. So I'm starting with some Granny Apple Green cardstock, and we're going to score this because it's a bit of a fun fold. So I'm going to get out my scoring tool. You can also score with your paper trimmer. I like to use this scoring tool sometimes because you've got all of the measurements 12 inches all the way across. So we're scoring at, this is 4 1/4 by 11 inches. So we're going to score at 5 1/2. And then we're also going to score at 2 3/4. So those are the only 2 scores we need. This is a very simple little fun fold that we're doing. And then we're just going to fold that in half at that score line, and then we're going to fold this score line like that. So it's folded like this, so you can see. Okay, so we're going to set that aside for just a second. And then I have 2 pieces of Whisper White, and you might have heard that Whisper White is going away. There was a problem with the manufacturer of the Whisper White cardstock. The problem is the manufacturer went out of business because of COVID, and there wasn't really much or any warning at all and that they were going out of business. So Stampin' Up! Had to scramble to get a new source of the white paper, and they weren't able to get the formula for the Whisper White. So we're going to have a new white coming. It's going to be called Bright White. So Whisper White's going away. You know, it's been around for a really long time, but so you buy all the Whisper White you want. You can wait for the Bright White. It'll be white. But these are 4 inches by 2 3/4 inches. And then I've got a piece of my DSP. So this is Granny Apple Green on this side, and it's Blackberry Bliss on this side. And this is 3 7/8 by 2 5/8. So I'm going to glue this onto that piece of Whisper White cardstock just to give it a little bit of a border. And I'm using the liquid glue for this project because it just allows me to have a little bit of wiggle room. So I can make sure I'm getting things centered right and placed where I want to place them. So that's on there, and it's just got a little bit of a white border. So now we're going to put this piece on our card base just like this. So we're only going to glue it on this left side. So you don't want to put glue very far onto the cardstock on this left side, because you want to, this part's going to hang over. And I'm just going to try to center that kind of right there in the middle like that, and try to make sure it's straight. So that looks pretty good. Now, on this piece, which is going to go on the inside, I'm going to do some stamping. So I'm going to use my Granny Apple Green ink. And I have my stamps, and I'm also going to do some masking. So what I'm going to do to mask these is I'm going to use my 1.5 inch punch, and I'm going to punch a couple of these on from a Post-it note so that I can stick it down over my image when I stamp it. And that's not gonna, I didn't get any sticky on that one, but that's not gonna matter. So, and then I'm going to punch from my 2-inch punch on my other Post-it note so that I can use these as masks. And it's really easy to use Post-it notes as masks. You want something like a Post-it note that's thinner than our cardstock is when you're masking, because you tend to get a little bit of an edge if you use thicker paper when you're masking. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp this one, and then I'm going to mask that. And then I'm going to take this image, which is a distinctive image, so it kind of gives automatically its own shading. And so I'm going to ink that up with the Granny Apple Green ink, and then I'm going to stamp off a layer because I don't want it to be full strength, because this is the inside of the card. And then I'm just going to stamp that right over that mask. My mask came off. See, I did get a little bit of an edge there, but it's not going to matter really. I'm going to mask this up. And for some reason, this mask isn't exactly the right size, same size as my image, but that doesn't matter. It's going to work out just fine. I'm going to stamp this one, and then I'm going to mask up that one again. And then I'm taking this image with the little dots, and I'm going to stamp that a couple of times. I'm going to move this mask a little bit so that, and then I've got that stamp. And then when you take the masks off, you can see how the circles are kind of in front and behind each other. So then I've got this sentiment, so what if you're a year older, you're fabulous. And I'm going to, I almost stuck that in my Granny Apple Green ink. I am going to ink that up with some Memento black ink, and I'm just going to stamp that right over my inside image, and that looks awesome. I am going to, no, I need that open still for a little bit. Oh, I forgot I put one of my stamps away, but I need it. So we'll be getting it back out. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on the inside of my card. So I'm going to ink up the back of it. And I hope y'all are having a wonderful holiday season, having a happy new year. It's actually been pretty cold in Texas the last few days, and so we've kind of been staying indoors. My parents were here and they just went home to Kansas today. They left this morning, so I've been playing in my room. So I'm going to line this up with the one on the front so that when it's closed, they're lined up. And that moved a little bit. And then I'm just going to close this so it'll glue down right where I want it. And you can see now that you can't see it. So then when you open the card, I think that's pretty nifty. So now we're going to punch out some images. I'm going to stamp a few of the images, and I need to get one more of the circles out. So we played with my dad here. We played golf on Monday. It was nice enough. It was in the 50s. So we played golf on Monday. That was really fun. And then my parents wanted to go see Abilene, Texas, which is about 2 hours west of where we live in Texas, because they've never been there, and they just thought it would be fun to go see Abilene. Also because when I was in grade school, we lived in Abilene, Kansas for about 6 years, and so my parents wanted to see what Abilene, Texas was all about, to see if it was, you know, any more interesting than Abilene, Kansas. Plus there's a song, I don't know if you've heard of it, a song that says Abilene, Abilene, prettiest town I've ever seen. And so my parents were wondering if that was about Abilene, Texas, or Abilene, Kansas. And they kind of thought it was probably about Abilene, Texas. But we decided to look it up while we were there because we didn't think Abilene, Texas was all that interesting, although there are 3 universities there that are really nice universities. They have really nice campuses, and so we drove through those campuses. But anyway, the song is about Abilene, Kansas. So, and that looked really cool. I stamped off the image of this stamp, so I had a little bit lighter color. And then I stamped in full strength this image over that. So there's these little vines on it, which I think is super cute. And then I'm also going to stamp this one, just like that. And then this one. And this one cuts out with one of the circle dies. And I have already done one of those and cut it out. So I've got this one ready to go. So now we're going to close that up, and I'm going to stamp one more thing. I'm going to stamp Happy Birthday on this circle, and I've got it a little bit sideways, so I'm just stamping that in Memento black ink right over that image, and I think that looks great. Now I'm going to punch these out with my punches, and punches are super awesome because they're just really easy to use. Oh, and you can see how that lines up in there. I'm just going to make sure I get a good birthday in there. This punch is just slightly smaller. You could use the 2 1/4 inch punch, and you'd have a little bit of a white border around that. And then I'm going to use my 1.5 inch punch to punch out this one. And there I have my circles. And now we're going to put these on the card. Let me close up this ink so that doesn't get too crazy. And I'm going to put dimensionals on the biggest and the littlest one to pop those up a little bit. Whoops. And then I'm just going to glue down that middle-sized one. So this is just going to pop right up on here. And that looks great. And then I'm going to take some of my glue and glue this just like that. Just glue it, and it doesn't matter how you arrange it. I got my dimensional in the way a little bit there. That wasn't good dimensional placement, but that's fine. Put that there like that. And then just kind of tuck this one in there like that. There you go. Isn't that cute? That's a real simple card, and I'll show you the others I made. I've got more in the green, and then I've got some in the Blackberry Bliss. This Blackberry Bliss is a really dark color. So for this cinnamon on the inside, I ended up putting it on a strip and gluing that down. But I think that looks really cute. It's a pretty dark purple color. And then I have some in Rococo Rose. Doesn't that look pretty? I think that's awesome. And then some in Bermuda Bay. Such pretty colors. That paper is just so much fun, that ombre paper with that ombre look to it. So that is pretty awesome. So that's a simple fun fold card that you can make, and this set with the circles is super fun. So that's what I have today. I'm going to clean off my stamps using my Simply Chamois, which is just a chamois that you keep wet with water, and it just cleans off all your stamps super easily and nicely, and then you're clean. Now these are kind of stained because I used that dark Blackberry Bliss ink on them, so that kind of stains the photopolymer stamps. And then one tip that I didn't mention is when you're using photopolymer stamps, you want to use the Stampin' Pierce mat or something like that under it, because they don't have that layer of foam behind them like your foam stamps do. These red, they've got a layer of foam attached to them, so you don't need the Stampin' Pierce mat or anything like that under them when you stamp with these. So just a real simple fun fold card, and I think that'll be really nice for my swap that we're having. We haven't had a demonstrator meeting in a long time, since I think the last one we had was in February, honestly. So this is the first time we're having one in person, so I'm excited to be doing some swaps again. So I hope you all have a great rest of your New Year's Day and a great 2021, and I will see you next time. See you later. Bye.